how's it going? Well, I hope. So, today, looking at scales and practicing scales doesn't have to be boring. It shouldn't be boring. Scales are where all our music comes from. So, we're going to look at some of the most popular scales that you're going to encounter. Right, so when you think about practicing scales, you might have different images depending on your experience so far. So when I started playing, I would imagine scale practice as something that piano players did, and then when I started learning scales on guitar as well, it sounded very exercisey, sounded very unmusical, and dare I say boring at times. But you know, I was a teenager at the time, and I didn't have the appreciation for practice that I do now. So trust me, it's really, really worth putting your time in just to get these basic scales under your fingers, and not just under your fingers and just learning shapes and patterns and stuff. That's not why we learn this stuff. We learn this stuff so that we can play music. So the reason that I've chosen these particular scales for us to try and work on today is because I want you to be fluent. I want you to be a fluent musician. I want you to understand a bit about the language of music and the kind of dialects that we speak as musicians and as guitar players. So speaking of guitar players, like the favourite scale of all time, all rock metal stuff, like jazz right through to like reggae, whatever style of music you play, there's one scale you got to know, and that's the pentatonic scale. Pentatonic because it's only got 5 notes. The scale that we're going to start with is a nice easy one, E minor pentatonic. We're going to play that in the open position down here. 2 notes per string. So we're going to have an open E followed by the 3rd fret, and I'd fret that with my middle finger. So down, up, here, down, up. We're going to keep this picking motion throughout as well, alternate picking throughout, down, up, down, up, down, up. On the next string we have open and 2nd fret, next string the same, next string the same. And then on the final 2 strings, the B and the E string, we're going to have open to the 3rd fret, open to 3rd fret. So I'll shut up and just play the scale. And of course you can go backwards as well. There you go. So not too bad to memorize that one. So we're going to commit these scales to memory. Now the important thing again is to keep your picking hand moving throughout. That's really important. It's not just about, again, memorizing notes and playing using the right fingers and all that stuff. That stuff is important, but what I would really challenge you to do when it comes to learning any scales or any chords, anything really on guitar, is to keep your engine running. So what I mean by that is just keep your right hand moving, keep that rhythm going throughout. So because we're practicing this alternate picking motion across all 6 strings, and we want to keep that motion going throughout. We want to practice it so much that it's effortless, we just automatic, we just don't have to think about it anymore. It's really going to help you develop that rock solid sense of timing, which is so important. So we're going to move on to another scale. Now we're going to look at a G major scale. It's kind of similar to this, except we're going to add a couple more notes in, and we're going to start on the G note, which of course is 3rd fret on the E string. So we've got 3rd fret on the E, then we're going to play the G my guitar, which sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? So we've got the third fret on the E string, and then we've got the open 2nd and 3rd fret on the A string, all alternate picked. So we're going to have up, down, up. On the next string, open, 2 and 4. Then we're going to get to the G string, and that's going to be open. So let's just do that to start with, nice and slow. So then we're going to carry it on up. We're going to play the 2nd fret on the G. So open, 1st fret, 3rd fret on the B string, followed by open, E, 2nd fret and 3rd fret. So I'll shut up and play that bit from the open G string. So we have So we split that scale into 2 parts. We've got the 1st octave and then the 2nd octave. So let me play that for you now. And backwards. Next up, we're going to look at the C major scale and how many songs have been written in the key of C major, all traditional music, so much stuff. This scale will sound very familiar to you, I'm sure. So we're going to start 3rd fret on the A string, which is a C note. Open, 2nd and 3rd fret on the D string. Open G, 2nd fret. Open B, 1st fret. So we have one more time. Now we're going to carry that scale up a tiny bit more. 3rd fret on the B string. Open E, 1st fret, 3rd fret on the E. So all together sounds like this. How I would practice those scales, well, might sound obvious, but playing them just like that, just playing them up and down and again, that's just to kind of really get the scale under your fingers, but more importantly, get it in your head. That's something that comes naturally to some players perhaps, and others not so much, but really being able to connect your kind of inner voice, your ear, to what you're playing as you're playing it as well. So again, it's a really good place to start with these major scales because they sound so familiar. So much of our music is made using these scales. So you don't have to sing out loud when you're playing them, but kind of hum it in your head or something. Like, try and get used to the sound of that scale. That way, when you make a mistake, it's going to be so obvious that you've made a mistake. So don't just rely on like muscle memory and finger placement and stuff alone. Really try and absorb the sound of these scales. So good luck with that, and I'll see you next time.